Hi, everyone. I'm Sam Wilson Jr., and this is the Black Soul Music Experience Podcast, the music podcast on where I interview singers and musicians from genres of black music: gospel, jazz, blues, old school classic soul, old school hip hop, today's hip hop and R&B, Caribbean, Latin, Afrobeat, Afro-Latina, blue-eyed soul, disco, go-go, line dances, and the Lost 45s. So come with me as I take you on to a trip to the destination genre of black music right now on the Black Soul Music Experience Podcast. Legal Shield is a proud sponsor of the Black Soul Music Experience Podcast. Have you been involved in any types of accidents? Have you been a victim of identity theft? Have you been a victim of a computer fraud scam? Have you been in disputes with your tenants or landlords? If your loved one dies and they didn't write up a will for you or for your family, or you and your spouse are filing for divorce, or if you need help by opening up your small business, give Legal Shield a try. Visit their website at LegalShield.com and tell them you heard it here on the Black Soul Music Experience Podcast. Do it today. You'll be glad you did. I'm Sam Wilson Jr., creator and host of the Black Soul Music Experience Podcast. March is Women's History Month, and all this month we are honoring the ladies in music and entertainment. I hope you're enjoying the Black Soul Music Experience so far. Now is your chance to help me continue to bring you black music stories that needs to be told and needs to be exposed as I continue to interview a diversity of singers and musicians who were influenced by black music. Now, if you love these episodes and are about to air for you this month, all you need to do is go to youtube.com/the Black Soul Music Experience Podcast. Just go to the YouTube homepage and make sure you go to the search box and type in the Black Soul Music Experience Podcast. If you haven't checked out my podcast, what you waiting on? You're missing a lot of good stuff on my podcast. All you need to do is go to Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Amazon Music, iHeartRadio, and Pocket Cast. And make sure you become a member and subscribe to patreon.com/the Black Soul Music Experience Podcast number 6 at the end. All you need to do is go to patreon.com, type in the name of my podcast, and make sure you add the number 6 at the end. That's patreon.com/the Black Soul Music Experience Podcast and the number 6. Check out all of the Patreon shows done by different creators, and make sure you check out my podcast. All you need to do is go to the search box and type in the Black Soul Music Experience Podcast and the number 6. And make sure you check out all of my audio and video podcast episodes and video podcast clips that you may have missed. Please become a member and subscribe to patreon.com. It's only $5.50 a month. You are helping me to continue this podcast that needs a lot of black music stories out there that needs to be told and needs to be exposed as I continue to bring you, and yes, interview a diversity of singers and songwriters who were influenced by black music. So make sure you subscribe to patreon.com/the Black Soul Music Experience Podcast. And don't forget to check out my YouTube channel. Go to youtube.com/the Black Soul Music Experience Podcast. Enjoy these episodes, and thank you for your support. Welcome to the Black Soul Music Experience. I'm Sam Wilson Jr., and I have a special guest on my show. And this lady that I'm about to introduce is originally from Vienna, Austria, and now lives in Atlanta, Georgia. She is a singer, songwriter, dancer, writer, producer, and director. Her new project, Stella and the Woman in the Photo, will be in theaters soon, and she's also working on an EP. that will be coming out soon as well. Please help me welcome to the Black Soul Music Experience podcast, ladies and gentlemen, Miss Samantha LaCroix. Hi,
Hello.
Samantha. How are you?
Good. How are you?
I'm doing fine, and you. Welcome to my podcast. Glad to have you here.
Thank you. Glad to
So,
be
we
here.
have something in common. I'm Samuel, you're Samantha. But
Yes.
most of the time, when we go out on the street, they say, it's Sam and Sam, or like the other way around and everything.
Mm-hmm. Definitely. It's fun.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. So, as always, America doesn't know who you are. The world doesn't know who you are. So, I'm very delighted to have you here on my show. So, let us begin, shall we?
Okay. I'm excited.
Okay. Now, as I mentioned in the intro, you're originally from Vienna, Austria.
Yes.
Where is the country Austria located at?
Okay. So if you picture Europe as a whole, right? If
Hmm.
Austria's kind of right in the middle, and you kind of want to think of it like a drumstick. So it's kind of like a sideways chicken drumstick. Oh, I'm sending you hearts, which is great. But yeah, hey, why not? But yeah, it's like a chick. It's very small, and we're
Uh-huh.
bordered by several countries. We're smack in the middle. So we're bordered by Germany and what used to be Yugoslavia and Hungary and like all these different places. So it's very, very cultural, very diverse. We speak German there. Um, a whole different world for sure.
Mm.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Hmm.
Yes. So Austria, is that the home of Arnold Schwarzenegger?
Yes, it is. Absolutely. Good job. And of course, the hills are alive, Sound of Music, all that stuff was filmed there. Yeah,
Oh, okay. Because
yeah.
every time I look at my report, I check and see who my podcast is picked up as. So even though Austria was not on the list, but
Oh,
if Austria was on the list on my podcast, I would, for those that from Austria, they'll always say, make sure you check out the Black Soul Music Experience podcast hosted by Sam Wilson Jr.
I
That's
love it.
right.
That's
They
very
will
cool.
always a music podcast. They interview a diversity of musicians from who love black music. Yeah.
Sehr gut. Wunderbar. Bravo.
Thank
That
you.
was really good, actually.
I always like to do that.
A man of many talents. I
Yes.
love
Yes.
it.
Now, now, were your parents in the music industry, or did they had 9 to 5 day jobs?
My mother's a concert pianist, actually. So when I grew up, she would be practicing the piano all the time, and I would play at her feet. So I have vivid memories of just having my dolls and little figurines or whatever I would happen to be playing with, and I would just play at her feet while she would practice. And
Mm.
so very unusual. And then she would go play in, various concert halls, and they would use me as her warm-up act. So I would just kind of go up there and I had no idea I'd be like, okay. And I go up there and I play some Mozart or some Beethoven. And so that's my mom. And then my dad, he had the real job. So he, he's a kind of an interesting, it's not really something that exists in the US, but it's called a Spediteur, which means it's like almost like a liaison, not even that. It's like a concierge for moving
Hmm.
for like diplomats and things like that. So people
Right.
that are very high up there, and he would be the concierge for their move across Europe. So it was kind of cool. So between the two of them, we always had really cool people over for dinner, you know?
Mhm.
So yeah, it was an experience for sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, which high school did you go to?
So I went to Cawthor Park, which is in Toronto. So it's actually in the outskirts of Toronto, Cawthor Park Performing Arts School. So I was very lucky. So basically, when I was 14, we moved to Toronto, and then we moved to Mississauga, which is it's a suburb, of Toronto, just like where I live now. McDonough is a suburb of Atlanta, and I got accepted into a performing arts school, so it was really great. So I had an amazing high school experience. I would say probably the best year.
And oh yes,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
And which college did you go to?
So I went to TCU, that's in Fort Worth, Dallas. So first, I actually went to a school in Canada for 1 year, Queen's University, and then I transferred to TCU because at the time I was really into piano, like my mom. Once we moved to Canada, we discovered that I could make money playing in competitions because we didn't, it's a different thing. So I would play in competitions and win and get cash, which was great. So then I was like, let me go to school for this. This is pretty cool. Let me do this. And so I went there for my bachelor's and my master's in piano, and then I switched to opera. But yeah,
And what was your major in
so
college?
it was piano performance actually, which is rather unusual. So for both degrees, it was piano performance.
Now, who did you want to be when you grow up?
Well, when I first started out, it was always in the arts, no matter what it was. So when I first started, I really wanted to be a dancer. That was probably my first dream in the arts. And then I really wanted to be on Broadway. And I think that was, throughout my teen years. And of course, a pianist, like my mom. And then when I did my master's, I somehow stumbled into the opera program and I fell in love with opera. So then I wanted to be an opera singer. And then I did that for a while. And now I just want to be an actor. So I'm mainly an actor and, in the film industry, I would say, and then directing, writing, all that stuff that kind of goes with it. So
And how old were you when you started writing songs, singing, dancing, and doing ballet and acting and directing?
very young. So I would say I started taking dance at like 4 years old. So it got me really early. The piano, it was kind of through osmosis, through sitting at mom's feet, so I never really took lessons per se, but every now and then, like every few months, she'd be like, let's learn something. I'd be like, okay. And then we'd learn something. So I guess I was always there. Singing, I guess most of it was really at an early age. And my dad and I used to do radio shows together just for kicks and giggles for fun, like fake ones, obviously. But we would sit there and we would do the weather report and we'd do improv without knowing we were doing improv. And we do the local news, the cat ran away. And, it was really stupid, but really fun.
Was being a singer, songwriter, dancer, and actress your calling?
I think so. The dancer has kind of gone away, unfortunately. I still move a lot, but I'm not a dancer anymore. But everything else has stuck. I really hurt my knees a lot. So dancing's off. But yes, I would say so. And I think out of all the things I do, I think singing, acting, and directing are my favorite, probably. But everybody else is right behind there.
Hmm.
It's kind of because it's so all comprehensive anyway.
Hmm.
It's so beautiful how they all link and, swoosh and
Right.
yeah.
Like mush together, correct?
Yeah, like mush together and swirls.
Now, growing up in Vienna, did Vienna radio play any of your favorite American artists?
Oh my God, yeah. So we only had how many channels? I think it was three radio channels when I grew up there. So one was the news channel, one was the pop rock channel, and then one I don't even know what it was. So my dad and I, every Saturday, I think was the countdown, the top 40 with Casey Kasem.
Mm-hmm.
And we would sit together. And so he really loved pop and rock and American music. And so we would sit together and listen to the entire top 40, and that would take hours. And we would dance around the house. And so, yeah, so I was exposed that way. Yes. So every weekend, that was our thing. That's what we did.
Now, growing up in Vienna, who were some of your favorite American artists?
Ooh, I had a lot. It's hard to narrow it down. I think I never really went down the rabbit hole of really exploring each artist. So it was kind of like whoever was in the top 40 at the time. But generally, I love Queen. I love U2. I love a lot of rock bands, but then I also really love female singers or actually male singers too. I like it all. So it's kind of really tough to pinpoint who my favorites are.
Hmm.
Hmm. Yeah.
And who were your musical influences that had inspired you?
I guess my biggest musical influence would be my mother, just because, there she was. So because of that, a lot of classical music is inspirational to me, uh,
Hmm.
more so than most people, just because it was in my house. It was in my DNA. When she was pregnant, she was playing. Like it just. And then other than that, just again, whoever. And we had some nice Austrian and German, also rock and pop musicians that you wouldn't even hear about here. But they were quite good. And so we would listen to those, except for on Saturdays when we listened to the American stuff. So,
Okay.
yeah.
Now, what year have you moved to Toronto, Canada, and how many years have you stayed in Toronto, Canada?
So I don't like to give years because then you'll know how old I am. So, but that's so pathetic, but it's true. So I'm just gonna say I was 14 when I moved. And what was the second part of the question?
How long have you stayed in Toronto?
I was there for all of high school and 1 year of college. So I want to say 7 years. And then my parents stayed on, so they're still there now. And then I just kind of after the year in college at Queens in Canada, then I went to Texas. And then I kind of just stayed in the United States ever since then. So I married an American man halfway through my education. And then we moved to Connecticut and then Florida and all over the place. So yeah, but I would say about 7 years full time in Canada.
Mm,
Yeah,
okay,
yeah.
already.
Hmm.
Now, you've toured with the Magic Lantern Theater and taken up classes with
I
the
did.
American Academy for the Dramatic Arts and the Broadway Teachers Workshop. What's it like doing dances and acting on stage?
It's heaven. I think my favorite place on earth is the stage. And my second favorite, or maybe they're tied, is being in front of a camera. And then, of course, I also like being behind the camera. But I think I'm such a ham that definitely the stage and in front of is probably my favorite. So all those things were very important to me. All those wonderful things that you mentioned, they all added a lot of depth and joy to my life. And I'm very grateful for every experience that I've had.
Wow.
Yeah, I really am. Yeah.
Now, you moved to Atlanta in 2020. What was it like moving to Atlanta, Georgia?
Well, I did it with great purpose. So, because I finally, the thing is, when you do so many things in the arts, you do have to at some point narrow it down, right? So, I did a few student films, and then I actually got a leading role in an independent film in Florida where I was living. And I was just like, you know what? I really like this a lot. I like film a lot, and it feels like it's a culmination of everything. So Atlanta was a very conscious choice to move here for the film industry. So moving here could have been difficult, but it wasn't because I was pursuing my hunger and my passion. So we basically moved in November of 2020, right at the height of the pandemic. And again, it could have been something, but I think it kind of helped facilitate the move in some bizarre way. And a lot of people don't realize this, but 2020 and beyond, for the next few years, the film industry was actually hopping in Atlanta, especially the unionized sets, because we had different rules than LA and other places. So a lot of productions came here. So I did a lot of background work and stand-in work on these huge sets, and I think I learned a lot. So the transition wasn't tough for me, even though I knew no one and I just came with my kids. I had gotten a divorce, and this was just me and my kids, moving. And but I'm very, very happy that we did. And I think Atlanta is a great place to be, especially if you're in the creative arts and you love film and acting and singing and all those things. I think then this is the place to be right now anyway. So it was a good move. I'm very happy with it. Yeah.
Mhm. Now, what studios have you done some projects?
Oh my God. You name him, I've done him. I used to go to Tyler Perry Studios all the time. But again, it's background, so it's not that impressive. But oh my God, I'm on like three different seasons of Sisters by Tyler Perry. I did The Oval. I mean, you name his series, I was in him, as a background actor. I've worked at Trilith a lot, Trilith Studios, which is beautiful, and I've done commercials there as well. And since doing all the background work, I've clawed out of that, and I have an agent, and now I do. I really don't do background anymore at all, unless it's a very, very extremely great rate or it's for a commercial or something like that. But yeah, I would say most of the studios all around Atlanta I have worked at. I think I've done at least 200 productions or so, I would say. It was a lot. Like it was every day. And some days I would even do two. Um, it was exciting and thrilling and, really cool. So,
Mhm.
yeah, really, really cool.
Okay.
Mm.
Now, let's talk about your new project, Stella and the Woman in the Photo. And I got a chance to see the email, which will be coming out in
Okay.
June. What's it like working behind the camera as a director and a writer and a producer?
It's it's really exhausting and really exciting and really exhilarating and really terrible and really wonderful and very stressful and very relaxing all at the same time. Because what's nice about it is that you have so much creative control, but what's hard about it is that you have so much creative control. So, it's like a two-sided beast. Um,
Mhm.
but I actually directed once before and it was not my work. I was directing someone else's work. So it's really nice because when I wrote the script, I actually got the script. I met a author, a local Georgia author, and she gave me her short story to read, and I wept. I wept profusely, and it's called this. The Woman in the Photo is the short story, and I wept. And the next morning, I woke up and I felt like God. I'm very spiritual, so I felt like God told me, "You need to turn this into a film. This needs to be a feature film. People need to see it, and you need to be in control of it." So, and that was March a year and a half ago. And since then, it just kind of set in motion. And so when I wrote the script for this particular movie, I actually filmed everything in my home, which is crazy. But having done, yeah. So we actually turned my house into a soundstage. That's basically what we did. And my garage became, you know, basically, Video Village. And it became where we did catering and where people set up, and it was wardrobe. And then my bedroom has this extra room, and that's where we did wardrobe and makeup and hair. And sorry, my cat is. Can you hear that?
I can hear the
The scratching?
yeah, but
Is that
that's
okay?
not going to affect us
Okay,
because
cool, cool, cool. Okay. But anyway, and so I turned my entire house into a studio, and it takes place in several houses, the movie does. And so we painted different parts of my house, different colors, did different designs. And I'm going to get this cat. Give me 1 second because he's driving me crazy. Excuse me, sir. Okay. He's probably going to jump up and say hi, but that's okay.
Oh, okay. Alrighty.
I locked him up in my bathroom, but he did not like that. So,
Oh, in other words, your cat wants to,
yeah. So this is him
or
right.
like,
This is
oh,
cute.
isn't that nice?
Okay, you got your moment. Now leave. Oh God, he's coming back. All right. Anyway, so yeah, so it was really exciting. And again, really nerve wracking. And I would stay up till 5 in the morning. Like I would go to bed and then I'd wake up in a cold sweat and like, oh my God, I need to order pillows. And then, oh my God, I need to order. And I also catered the movie. So after we would wrap, we would do like a 12-hour day and then I would cook
Mm.
And I would cook for my 30 crew and cast and get it ready. And it's just a really exciting, he's just here. We're just gonna,
Yeah,
we're
we're
gonna,
just gonna keep rolling because
yeah,
I know your
yeah,
cat wants to be
yeah,
on the screen,
he does.
want
He
to
likes
be
to
in
be kept. Oh,
pictures and
there he
everything.
is. There he is. Say hi. But yeah, so I know it's a really long answer to a short question, but I love it. And also because I got to control the script, um I wrote it around what my resources were.
Mhm,
So, so that's a really good way to stay lower budget but still do really great work.
mhm,
So, um, so I really loved it, and I think I would like to do more of that. And also, I got to write myself a character, and I made her singer songwriter, and then I used my own music in the film, and even wrote music for the film. So
mhm,
that's really cool. And then finally, I guess the coolest part was, and that kind of came to me when I woke up, it's about a 14-year-old girl and her relationship with an old lady. And my daughter's 23, but she looks 14. So it was kind of like perfect. So
mhm.
it was a very personal project and very exciting to do. And I'm really, really,
Wow.
yeah. And I think I would like to do a lot more of that and just kind of create content. And it's very wholesome. It's all about love and forgiveness and, good things. And it's a beautiful film. So I want to make more beautiful things for this world that we're in. So,
Yes.
yeah.
Speaking of opera, let's talk about your new EP,
Yes.
which is in the works containing opera blending in with rock and folk, jazz,
Yeah.
and others. How does your singing voice matches those music genres?
I think once you're trained as an opera singer, you can sing
Mhm,
pretty much anything. um, because you learn so much about the physiology of the voice. At least I did, and you
mhm,
learn about. So I don't know. I just do it. I just love those different genres. So but I think the opera is always there because I was trained in opera, and I think once you're trained in opera, it's very hard to get rid of it completely. And the
mhm,
opera also gave me a huge range. So rather than a limited range, which you would usually have with more pop or rock, I like to really
mhm,
expand the range and go really high and really low as well, and take
mhm,
advantage of it. And I think that's why I do like Queen and like Freddie Mercury because they had such a cool range. And I think that's why he's one of my favorite artists.
mhm.
And that's, I think I would like to be like I mean, that's ridiculous to say, but in some ways inspired by Freddie Mercury, I guess.
Yeah,
Yeah. You know,
cause the
yeah.
Freddie Mercury and Queen that I knew, they were known for their hit Bohemian Rhapsody. They
Yes.
would go to classical and they would get into that real
Yeah.
stuff.
Yeah.
And another song that I like, another one bites the dust when they get
Yes.
that
I love
boom,
that one.
that bass.
Yeah. It's a
And
good one.
also that song, boom, boom,
Of
boom, boom.
course. We will absolutely
Well, we will
will
rock
rock
you.
you. Yep.
I was like,
Austria,
oh
all the
man.
kids knew it, and everywhere we went, we used to do a lot of trips, and
Uh-huh.
on the bus, we do it like for hours, and the teacher's like, "Okay, we get
Mhm.
it. Stop." You know. So yeah. But yeah, so opera I think just kind of opens the door and being trained like that. And so then it's kind of like the lyrics just kind of came to me. It's a lot of it is born from trauma, I guess a little
Mhm.
bit, a lot of my lyrics. But
Mhm.
then it just kind of grows out of that. And I found a really good guy to collaborate with. And
Mhm.
so I would give him my melodies and my lyrics, and then he would kind of craft the producing part of it, the track, and it worked really well. So right now we have like 4 songs, and I want to do
Mhm.
about 2 or 3 more, and then so they're all different, and one of them is actually in the film.
Mhm.
So it actually opens the film is um so that's pretty cool because we did that 3 years ago. And then when I was writing the script, I was like, you know what would fit perfectly here? The song we wrote. So it's amazing how everything just kind of And again, I attribute that to God, but that's just me. So I hope I'm not offending anyone, but that's very important to me.
No, no.
My
I'm a
faith.
church deacon too.
I
So,
like that. I love
because me growing up, I listened
yeah.
to all music, including gospel music. When I was staying with my maternal aunt's apartment in the Bronx, she would play gospel music
Love it.
all day.
Oh,
Everything from James Cleveland to Shirley Caesar to choirs and
gorgeous.
quartets.
Yeah.
And most of the time, my late mom, she had a couple of jazz albums,
Hmm.
including Stanley Turrentine, Herbie Mann, and Dave Brubeck.
Oh, I
And
love Dave Brubeck. Yeah.
just to name a few. And everything. So I've been dropped off by every babysitter. They will play their music. It kind of like feels everything. It's my
Yes.
tranquility. It just
Yes.
soothes
Yes.
and for your everyday routine and everything.
Oh, I agree. Music's wonderful.
Hmm.
There's an amazing quote. If it's okay, Bach, Beethoven, and Mozart, right? So
Right.
it's in Austria. It's on this big building, and it always stuck with me. So I'm going to share it with you. It's really cool. It's not that long,
Hmm.
and it's translated, but it says something like, "God gave us." No, wait, no. Bach gave us God's word. Because it's very analytical, and
Hmm.
Mozart gave us God's laughter, and Beethoven gave us God's fire because it was very, passionate. And then it says, but God gave us music so that we can pray without words, which I think is really beautiful, you know.
Hmm.
And
Yes.
and it's true, it transcends, you know.
Hmm.
So,
Yes.
yeah.
Now, while you're not working, what does Samantha LaCroix do for fun?
She's never not working. And it's sad, but it's true. I don't go out. I'll go out to like a networking event, but I don't go out. I like to read. I love to read. Um, Yoga is always great. Swimming, I love to go swimming. Hiking's great. Hanging out with my kids is fantastic. The pets, maybe like a game night type of thing. Board
Mhm.
games. I'm a real board game nerd. Um, watching my favorite medium, watching movies, and reading books. And yeah, I'm pretty lame. So, but it's all right, because I'm always running around and I think work to me is play. So, yeah. So mostly work, but I do those things and they're fun.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now we talked earlier about the arts, and me growing up, I did take up arts education, whether it's painting
Love.
or drawing.
Yeah.
And when I went to trade school, my first choice was radio broadcasting, but I got turned down by the first choice, so I ended up being in graphic arts.
Oh, wow.
So I can draw, but I'm not that good as my late paternal uncle
Okay.
because he was an outstanding drawer. He was best remembered for doing that Muriel cigar commercials back then.
Oh, wow.
And he once worked at an advertising studio, which was founded by the daughter of the late Chico Marx, from the Marx Brothers,
Okay.
Groucho
Yeah. Yeah.
and Chico and Harpo, from the
Yes. Oh,
Marx Brothers.
wait. Can you do that again? That was amazing.
It's Harpo.
Wow. That was really good. That's impressive. That was
See,
so
I
good.
see. I told you I've been raised by everything.
I
Everything
love
I see
it.
on movies and TV
Yeah.
and everything.
That was so
So,
good. Wow. Okay. So
yeah. So,
now,
so as I mentioned, I did took up arts, but since you've been in the arts with your dancing and everything, I have to ask you this question on why the arts is so important.
it's everything. I Again, it kind of goes back to that quote. I think God gave us the art so we can pray without words. I think it's a way to connect with others, whether it is through your body when you're dancing. whether it is through your voice, whether it is through your acting, your face, whether it is through drawing. I think there's nothing as powerful for the human connection as the arts. I really truly believe that. And whether it's classical, music or rock or gospel or again, something like what your great great uncle was it? Drew? Yeah.
My paternal uncle, my uncle on
Paternal.
my late
Okay,
father's
yes.
side of the family.
Yes. I think, and dance, I mean dance, oh my God, it's so expressive. And so to me, the arts are everything. And I think they spark the imagination. And I think human beings without imagination, what are we? And I don't like the way we're going now, as a world. I think creativity is being stifled because we have so many tools for creativity, but we are the best tool. And I think
Mhm.
everyone has creativity. And I wish, that would, I don't know. But yeah, it's just everything to me. And I can't imagine a world without it. And I certainly wouldn't want to be living, you know, without it personally, in some way or another. I mean, of all the things I've done, I've lived in a lot of countries and different places, but the one thing that's always been there was the arts,
Mhm.
you know?
Because yes, because like they say in the PSA, the arts enriches us all.
It does. Well done. That was also very well done.
Yes.
Good job.
Now, here's a question that I always ask my guests:
Okay.
living or dead, which artist you wish you wanted to meet or to perform with?
Ooh, that's a good question. Beethoven is freaking awesome. So me and Ludwig, I would love to hang out with him, preferably before he was deaf, because I think he got really angry and he would throw pianos and stuff. But he definitely is a huge hero of mine. Let's see, who else would I love to hang out with? I love John Williams. I love all of his scoring that he does. I think it is absolutely brilliant. So I think John Williams, I would love to hang out with and just, you know, make music together or listen to him make music or whatever, anything. Um, Queen, Freddie Mercury, if he was around, holy crap. I thought Elvis was really great. It was before my time, but I was very much in love with Elvis, like growing up. Um, and I just thought, especially in the beginning, before they got to him, he was so special. Um, there's so many people. Aretha Franklin, um, Broadway performers, Lin Manuel, Lin Manuel Miranda would be fantastic to hang out with. Any jazz greats, Ella Fitzgerald, maybe David Brubeck. I think it kind of runs the gamut of. It'd be really cool, wouldn't it? Like every week you pick someone and you're like,
Hmm.
hey, let's chill
Hmm.
and maybe jam or listen or perform or write and create.
Yes.
Yeah, yeah.
Now, here on the Black Soul Music Experience, I always ask my guests who are the top 10 R&B black artists of all time. Now, since I have you, Samantha, we're going to do something a little different. We're
Okay.
going to be doing the Black Soul Music Experience top 10 R&B black artists who cross all genres
Ooh, I
of
love it.
music.
Okay.
Now, here's how it works. We
Okay.
start like a top 10 countdown, like the show America's Top 10, hosted by the late Casey Kasem. We start at the bottom five and we figure out who was the best singer, but didn't get any recognition. In other words, they were on the major record label, but didn't get that much promotion or marketing. When
Hmm.
we get to the top five, we will find out who was the best selling artist of all time. Did that artist receive those top 10 number one hits? Did that artist won a Grammy or American Music Award or an MTV VMA Award or a BET Award or a Soul Train Award? Did that artist got inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame? Or did that artist perform the American Bandstand or Soul Train or the Midnight Special or NBC's Saturday Night Live or Solid Gold? Or did that artist had that prime time special, whether it's on CBS or NBC or ABC? Or did they performed on PBS, whether it's Great Performances, or
Mm.
did they had that special airing during Pledge Month? Or did they had that music video, whether it aired on BET or MTV or VH1? Or did that artist have that wonderful live concert special, whether it's on HBO or Showtime? So,
Oof.
yeah, so I'm going to start off with mine. And
Okay.
while I'm doing that, I'll let you pick one of yours.
Okay. Okay.
So, number 10, I'm starting off with Stevie Wonder.
Yeah,
Now,
he's
Stevie
great.
Wonder was known as the Wonder Man, genius. He did do some genres. He not only he played soul, but crossed over in pop, crossed over in gospel and message music, and crossed over in jazz. He even dipped into some reggae with the song called Master Blaster Jammin' that was in tribute to the late Bob Marley.
Whom I
So
love.
he would drop into any genres, and he's best remembered for doing songs with social issues
Hmm.
and participated in USA for Africa and won an Oscar, won a Grammy, an American Music Award, a Rock and Roll Hall of Fame inductee, and a Kennedy Center honoree for the class of 1999. So I'll put Stevie Wonder at number 10. Number 9, I'm putting down two gospel groups. One was the Mighty Clouds of Joy. They have done some gospel and did some message music. So, in
Okay.
other words, when you do that gospel music on Sunday, you got to have some message music that gets you out through the week. So I put the Mighty Clouds of Joy at number 9, and the Sounds of Blackness, which comes out of Minneapolis.
Okay.
And it's a choir that done some gospel and some spiritual music. So I'm going to put a tie, the Mighty Clouds of Joy and the Sounds of Blackness at number 9. Number 8, Philadelphia International's own house band, MFSB. They
Okay.
put out a couple of albums back then. So it's an integrated house band founded by Gamble and Huff, founders of Philadelphia International Records. They'll be best known for TSOP, The Sound of Philadelphia, aka the theme from Soul Train, which
Ah.
was number one on Billboard's Hot 100 Pop Singles charts and number one on Billboard's Soul Singles charts. Now, they did some jazz and they also did some remix of some soul classics from back in the day. So we'll put MFSB at number 8. Number 7, the late Isaac Hayes. He is best remembered for doing remakes of some original songs from original artists, but he would take those songs and make it from a 3 minute to a 17 or 18-minute song. He would take that song and strip it and stretch it as far as wide as the eye can see.
Love that.
He did versions of Dionne Warwick's Walk On By and also Glenn Campbell's By the Time I Get to Phoenix and also Jerry Butler's I Stand Accused. But he'll be best known for his number one hit, the theme from Shaft, which was number one on Billboard's Hot 100 Pop Singles charts. And when I was listening to the soundtrack album, I didn't know that Isaac Hayes would do little jazz tunes like Ellie's Love Theme, where he was doing the vibes, the vibraphone. I didn't know it was him. So he'd be best known for that. And yes, he did some acting here and there as well. He was in a couple of movies, including Three Tough Guys, I'm Gonna Get You Sucker. And he was on television for playing the voice of Chef of South Park on
Oh my God. Yeah. I love South Park.
and also he was a radio DJ personality. We had 98.7 KISS WRKS FM in New York. So in
Okay.
1994, they changed the format the classic soul and today's R&B. So they had Isaac Hayes in the morning from 6 to 10. So we'll put Isaac Hayes, singer, songwriter, composer, conductor, arranger, Oscar winner, Grammy Award winner, American Music Award winner, inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame for the class of 2002. So we'll put Isaac Hayes at number 7. Number 6, I'm putting down Earth, Wind, and Fire,
Oh yeah.
founded by the late Maurice White, 1969. They're known for doing genres of music. They would do soul, they would do pop, they would do gospel, they would do message music, and some African music. They were known for that little instrument, the kalimba.
Uh-huh.
So they'll use their little fingers or thumbs to do that. So
Okay.
they'll be best known for that. Some number one hits, Shining Star, That's the Way of the World, and also other songs with a social message, including Keep Your Head to the Sky, Evo. And they did a Mother's Day song too called Mom, and some other hits as well. So we'll put Earth, Wind, and Fire, Grammy Award winner, American Music Award winner, Rock and Roll Hall of Fame for the inductee class of the year 2000. Number 5, I'm putting down Kenny Rogers. Now, Kenny Rogers started out in the pop rock world with his group called First Edition. And back in the day, back in 1971, I remember they had their own variety show called Kenny Rogers and First Edition Rolling on the River. It used to be on like on Saturday evenings locally in syndication. So he'll be best known for that. He'll be known for his shades back then and the beard. But then by the mid 70s, he changed over to country music and had some hits, including Lucille and The Gambler,
Yes.
top 10 hit,
Yeah.
and Lady, number one hit written by Lionel Richie, crossed over genres in pop and country charts. And one time they played it on some black radio stations too. So we'll put Kenny Rogers at number 5.
All right.
Number 4, I'm putting down the Pointer Sisters.
Oh yeah.
They crossed all genres. They made their debut back in 1973 with their self-titled debut LP on the ABC Blue Thumb label. They dipped into everything. They can sing jazz, they sing pop, they would sing soft rock, and they would sing a country song too. They did that song called Fairy Tale, which won them a Grammy Award for Best Country Female Performance. I would never knew that they would dip into some country music, and they first performed that I think it was at the Grand Ole Opry House back in the mid 70s. And yeah, they did some acting too. They made some appearances. They appeared on episodes of the Carol Burnett Show on CBS, and they were in the movie Car Wash back in 1976, which had the late Richard Pryor and the late George Carlin. So we'll put the Pointer Sisters at number 4.
Okay.
Number 3, the late Ray Charles. He crossed every genre. He would did soul, he would did R&B, he would do country, and he would do jazz. So he crossed over everything. So he'll be best known for his R&B tunes, including the Mess Around and Nighttime is the Right Time, which they used that for season 2 of the Cosby Show, that episode, the grandparents episode. And Ray Charles had modern sounds and country western music. That was a top 10 album on Billboard's pop and country charts. He has his couple of hits going, I Can't Stop Loving You, and Well, You Don't Know Me. So
I
he'll
love
be
that.
best known for that. And yes, during the later 60s, he's best known for his rendition of America the Beautiful. So he did it his way. And
Oh.
the first time I heard that song was back in 1976 when the country was celebrating its bicentennial. So Ray Charles had done it all. He crossed all genres, been inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame for the class of 1986. So I'm putting Ray Charles at number 3. Number 2, Lionel Richie.
Love.
Started out as a lead singer
Mhm.
of the Commodores from its inception, and then went on his own in 1982 with his self-titled debut LP on the Motown label. He dipped into some pop and R&B here and there, but then with his second album, Can't Slow Down, million selling album, it crossed everything. He did some pop, and also his single "All Night Long." It did a
Oh,
little Caribbean, this is a Caribbean thing.
yes.
And yes, he had his country song called "Stuck on You," and that was my first time hearing it. I was like, wow, Lionel Richie had crossed whole genres. So we'll put Lionel Richie at number two. At number one, I'm putting a tie. Number one, we have Linda Ronstadt.
Oh.
She's best known for crossing all genres. She would sing pop. She would sing soft rock. She would sing soul. She would sing country. And she would sing Latin music.
Oh,
And she
wow.
did an album called Canciones de mi Padre, Songs of My Father. And she won a Grammy Award for Best Latin Recording. So, like I said, Linda Ronstadt had done it all.
Hmm.
She dipped into every kind of music that the record producers were like, "You doing that?" Everything. So,
Wow, good for her.
hands down to Miss Linda Ronstadt,
Mm.
inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame for the class of 2014. And I also put her a tie with the Queen of Soul, Miss Aretha Franklin,
Yes.
been on the scene back in 1967 with her number one hit, Respect. Although it was written by Otis Redding and it didn't become a hit for Otis Redding, but it became a hit for Aretha Franklin, number one on Billboard's Hot 100 Pop Singles charts and also number one on Billboard's Soul Singles charts. And not only that, it became a women's empowerment anthem.
Yeah.
And still up to this day, she did a couple of some remakes. She did the remake of Don't Play That Song, originally sung by Ben E. King, Bridge Over Troubled Water, originally done by Simon and Garfunkel, and
Hmm.
Spanish Harlem, also recorded by Ben E. King. So Aretha has done so many genres. She sings soul, she sing pop, she sing gospel with those two gospel LPs, Amazing Grace in 1972 and One Lord, One Faith, One Baptism in 1987. And yes, she dipped into some opera. She performed at the 1998 Grammy Awards. I would never believe that Aretha Franklin could do opera because when I was watching the Grammy Awards on CBS, Luciano Pavarotti was supposed to perform, but he wasn't feeling well. So then the producers that came to Aretha and said, "Can you do this?" Aretha said, "I'm going to give it a shot." And when she came on stage,
Wow.
everybody, standing ovation.
Wow.
See, a few people were in tears. Are like, Aretha can do that. So Aretha done it all. Like I said, soul, gospel, jazz, and opera too, pop, all of that. So I put Aretha Franklin on there, Grammy Award winner, American Music Award winner, Rock and Roll Hall of Fame for the class of 1987, a Kennedy Center honoree for the class of 1994. So hands down. So there
Wow.
I have my um, artists that crossed all genres.
That is an amazing list. And that is impressive. I loved your thinking. And my list is just a bunch of scribbles. So, but yeah, I mean, you, yeah, great list. It's good stuff.
Thank you.
Yeah, well thought out. Mine is not very well thought out. So, but I'm going to do my best. How's that?
Okay. Okay.
I think my number 10 is going to be Renee Fleming. And, she is she's a major opera diva. And she then went on to Broadway, and she actually has released several jazz albums. And she also has a lot of soul. And I think a lot of people, may not, in the mainstream, may not know of Renee Fleming. And if they do know of her, they'll know her as an opera diva. But she actually is an incredible jazz singer and soul singer. So I would make her number 10.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so I think she's definitely number 10. Number 9 is going to be another opera singer. Her name is Kathleen Battle, and I actually got to meet her, which was a very frightening experience because um, she was actually banned from the Metropolitan Opera, because she was so tough to deal with. So, oh yeah. And so, one of my many things I did when I was in Texas, I did artist management at one point, and we had this huge concert at the Dallas Giant Symphony Hall. She had an $80,000 contract, which back then was a lot of money, and somehow I was sitting outside her dressing room, like, making sure she was fine. And we changed dressing rooms multiple times because they weren't fine. And then she grabbed me and said, "I need a dresser." And I was like, and she grabbed me anyway. So I got to dress Kathleen Battle. And she was not wearing many clothes. We'll just leave it at that. And the outfit was skin tight. And so there was a skin tight bodice and then this huge hoop skirt, opera diva, right?
Mhm.
And then I'm still sweating thinking about this. There were hundreds of little hooks that attached the bodice to the skirt. So then she says, and I'm a clumsy person, like, I just am. And people
Mhm.
that love and know me know this. So here I am, and my hands are sweating. And she's like, "Okay, just hook it on." And I'm like, "Okay." And she says, "Don't speak." And I'm like, "Okay." No, she goes, "No, no, no, don't speak." So now we're in silence, and I'm freaking out. I'm putting on all these hooks. And then she proceeds to warm up, and she makes me face the wall. So I'm not looking at her while she's warming up. So I'm telling you, Sam, I was freaking out. So she warms up, gorgeous voice, of course. And then she goes out on stage. And the whole time while she was on stage, I was watching and I'm like, "Oh my God, that skirt's coming off. That skirt's going to come off. I'm going to be fired. I'm canceled. I'm done." It didn't come off. But wow, what a story. And then at the end, we had this volunteer, and she had these beautiful flowers, this huge bouquet. And so
Mhm.
basically, and this actually just feeds right into this. So Kathleen did all these opera things. It was fabulous. And then at the end, she decided to do some gospel and some a cappella stuff. So the lady, I'm not going to say her name, I still remember, she had these flowers, and she was practicing the whole time because we were all so nervous because we heard all these stories, about Miss Battle. And she was practicing backstage. So as the accompanist left, it was a piano and singer intimate concert in a huge hall. So the pianist left and she was out there bowing. So she walks out there with the flowers. And Miss Battle says, "I am not finished yet. Leave." And I was like, "Oh my God." And that poor woman left the stage. And then she proceeded to sing the most gorgeous soul, gospel, jazz. And it was incredible. It was all a cappella. But that poor woman, and I'm telling you, I had nightmares for years
Mhm.
because of that whole do not speak thing. And what's really, it's kind of a fun epilogue is at the end, my dad is a huge Kathleen Battle fan. So I
Mhm.
had bought her CD with me. And so he's like, "Get my autograph, get me an autograph." So I waited in line, huge line because everyone, it's Kathleen Battle. And so then finally it's my turn. She goes, "Oh, sweetie, you didn't have to wait in line. I would have signed yours right away." And I'm like, and that was that. And she goes, "Yeah, I'm really mean before performances, but I'm actually really nice." And I was like, so she's number 9.
Oh.
Yeah. So those are my two opera divas. Number 8, I'm going to say Kelly Clarkson because I think that woman has a voice to die for. when she first burst onto the scene on American Idol and she sang, Respect by Aretha Franklin. I had nothing but respect for her. And I think she can sing it all. And she's got this glorious instrument. And I think there's soul in her voice. And she does rock, she does pop, but I think there's definitely soul in there. So I'm going to make her my number 8. Um,
Okay.
let's see. Now it's getting tough because I have a lot of people and I only have 2
Uh-huh.
spots. I'm going to say number 7, maybe Elvis, because his early work was really full of soul before they got all, before he got bought out and, he started doing all those movies and he just kind of became bloated, you know, in every way. I
Mhm.
think uh, there's that song. It was the first song he ever put out. Something Mama. Na 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 mama. Da, da, it's for me. I forget how it
It's.
goes.
I think the song
It's
is
all right.
"That's all right,
Yes,
Mama.
yes.
That's
It's
all
all
right with
right for
me.
me.
It's all right.
Yeah.
It's all right.
Yes.
It's all right, little
Yes,
Mama.
that's it. That's
That's
the
all
song.
right with me."
Yes, I loved that song. And I think it is full of soul. And that man, he's my number 7.
Okay.
Number 6, I already mentioned them, Queen, just because they can sing anything. They sing classically. I think he's actually a trained opera singer, Freddie Mercury. I'm pretty sure he
Mhm.
is. And I'm not sure if they actually sang soul per se, but again, everything he sings, it has something in it, something extra, something.
Mhm.
I'm just in love with that man's voice. Um, so that's going to be in my number 6.
Okay.
Um, Now it's getting tougher because I gotta pick here. Neo. I really like Neo, and he is a pop star. But he also has some soul and recordings, and he blends a lot of different genres, and especially his song "Closer." I love that song, and that is a great song. And when I'm feeling down or I'm driving somewhere and I need to get hyped up, I play that song because that
Mm.
is a great song. So that's going to be my number 6.
Okay.
Number 5, I'm going to go with Fantasia, another American Idol. She is friggin' fantastic. She's been on Broadway. She sings soul. She sings R&B. She sings pop. She sings everything. And she could sing the phone book and it would be great.
Wow. And
So,
in case you may not know,
yeah.
she is the cousin of Casey and JoJo.
Oh, is she really?
Yeah.
Oh my
And
God.
when I was looking at her biography, it's like, I didn't know that she's related to Casey and JoJo of Jodeci.
What?
And when I first heard her
Oh,
sing on the American Music Awards in
yeah.
2003, I was like, whoa, she really sang.
That
And
girl
I'm
can
telling
sing.
you.
She's
Hmm.
incredible. And her dramatic range and her vocal range and she puts her soul into the singing too, which is, so not only she's singing soul, her soul is in the soul, if you know what I mean. So yeah,
Yes.
Fantasia is huge for me. So I think that's number 5, right? She was 5.
Six from it. Four.
Oh God, I only have, oh no. Okay. I don't know that much about her yet, but I
Okay.
actually got to go to her album launch party, which was really cool. Earlier this year, and that's Summer Walker. And
Ah, yes, that's one
yeah,
of the new
yeah, she's
today's.
new,
Yes.
and I'm still exploring her music, so I
Hmm.
can't say too much yet. But from what I've heard, I'm very excited about her, and I think she's really melding a lot of different styles in a
Hmm.
really creative way, and also staying current at the same time. And I don't just want to have a list of older people because a lot of the people I mentioned are. So I want to put in Summer Walker. So I'm going to put her in. Oh God, I have a big list here, my friend. I got to pick. Um, Maybe Mary J. Blige.
Ah, yes, the queen of hip hop soul,
Yeah.
born and bred in the boogie down Bronx, New
Yeah.
York. And yeah,
She's
she
amazing. What is she now? My number three? Is that number three?
number two.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. Okay, so she's number two. So I'm missing a bunch of people. We'll have honorable mentions. How's that? Um,
Okay.
so Mary J. Blige, her song "No More Pain," um, that speaks to me.
Yeah.
And
No more. I should say the song "No More Drama." That's
that's
the name
right.
of the song,
No, yeah.
and that was sampled from "The Young and the Restless" on CBS
Oh, was it
daytime.
really?
So when I keep
Oh my
listening, it's like,
god,
wait a minute, ain't that the theme from "The Young and the Restless"? Yeah.
I love
So
it.
we sampled that from that song.
It's good stuff. And
Hmm.
actually, I don't know if we mentioned this, but I used to teach too. I taught theater. And so we would write our own plays. So the writing started pretty early. And we wrote a song, I mean, a play around No More Pain by Mary J. Blige. We made a
Hmm.
whole show about bullying, like anti bullying. And we
Hmm.
invited all the middle schoolers from all around where I used to live. It was like $2 a ticket. And the schools would ship in their kids. And we did about I want to say 5 performances for like 800 kids at a time, and it was
Hmm.
called No More Pain. And what we would do is and the kids and I, mostly the kids, I would facilitate. We wrote this bully play based on their experiences with bullying. And then we would play the song No More Pain throughout the play
Hmm.
and kind of have it mutate as the play. And so that is very important to me, that song in particular, and her voice is phenomenal. So I'm going to say Mary J. Blige.
Okay.
I only have one spot, eh?
Yep.
Um, well, I was thinking about Prince. I was thinking about Diana Ross. I was thinking about Whitney Houston. I was thinking about Lionel Richie. I was thinking about Stevie Wonder, Bobby Brown, Lauryn Hill. These were all like on my list. I might have to go, and this is kind of weird. Oh, and Rihanna. I love Rihanna. Rihanna's great, and
Mhm.
she's every song she does is a banger. But I'm going to go with Alicia Keys.
Ah, representing Hell's Kitchen in the NYC,
Yeah,
Alicia Keys.
yeah, and
Now,
the
she came
reason,
on the scene
yeah,
back in 2001 with her debut
hmm
LP, Songs in A Minor.
yeah.
She had that hat and the
Oh
braids.
yeah, she
When
has
I
such an
first saw
iconic
her
look.
perform on the
Yeah,
MTV VMAs in 2001, she would open up with something classical. She would open up with the da 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 da
that's
da
why I
da
like her.
da da da
Right,
da.
right,
I was like, what's she doing? Is she gonna do her song? Cause you never know who they gonna perform. They'll start with a little intro or something. They would
right.
segue into her songs.
Yep, yep. So, and as a pianist, coming from a piano background, I
Hmm.
thought she was just so cool to be playing and singing like that. I loved her style. I still do. Her
Hmm.
voice is incredible. And I think she really bridges that, and she kind of does it all, and like you said, she even, there's people that play the piano when they perform, but a lot of them aren't
Hmm.
that good.
Uh-huh.
It's more like a show thing, it's
Right.
like, you know, but with her, I feel like she can actually play, like play, you
Hmm.
know? So that's kind of combining everything I love. And she's in a way she's also very theatrical.
Hmm.
So I like that. So it's combining piano, it's kind of combining everything I love, right? Piano, great voice, great messages. This girl's on fire. I mean, that's one of my anthems actually, you know.
Hmm.
Um so yeah, I'm going to give it to her.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, so we did very good.
We did.
Yes.
We
Yes, we did good.
Yeah. Yay.
Yes.
Yay.
So, Samantha, thank you so much for being here
Oh,
on the Black Soul Music Experience podcast. It's been a pleasure talking with you, and I wish you continued success and good luck to the movie, which will be dropping in June. I hope everything does well and hope to see your EP coming out real soon. So,
yes.
thank you so much.
Okay. Thank you. It was a pleasure.
Yes. Now, before we go,
Yeah.
where can we follow you on social media?
Oh, yes. So I am, it's kind of a pattern, LaCroix Acts. So on Instagram, I'm LaCroix, like the water,
Mhm.
LACROIX. So just think of the bubbling water. That's me. So LaCroix Acts, as I'm like, so ACTS. On Facebook, I am Samantha LaCroix Acts. On LinkedIn, I'm Samantha. I think you can just put in Samantha LaCroix, but if you put in Samantha LaCroix Acts, you'll definitely get it.
Mhm.
Um, Also, if you want to follow along for my film, it's on IMDb, and you just type in Stella and the woman in the photo, and those are the main ones that I use. So you'll find me
Okay.
there. Anyway,
Okay, because I'm on Facebook and
okay,
LinkedIn,
okay,
and I've just joined Instagram. So for all of the singers who
yay!
I've interviewed so far, and I said, you know what? If I can't beat them, join them. I'll join on Instagram. So I've
Instagram's good.
just been on there since November. So that really did
Okay,
help. Yes.
okay. Well, send me a friend. What is your handle on Instagram?
Okay. Look for me on Instagram
Uh,
at SAMM dot Y 2980.
okay, I'm gonna send you a friend request
Okay, perfect.
or whatever. Follow. It's not a friend request. That's Facebook.
Yeah, just
Follow
follow.
you. Yeah, I'll follow.
Yes. Download all of the artists that we have talked about who crossed all genres on this edition of the Black Soul Music Experience podcast. Visit iTunes.com, Spotify.com, or purchase a CD at Amazon.com. And make sure you follow Miss Samantha LaCroix. You can follow her on Instagram at LaCroix X, and also follow her on Facebook, Samantha LaCroix X. And you can follow her on LinkedIn at her regular name, Samantha LaCroix. And be sure to check out her movie, Stella. Let me see, I got it right. Stella and the Woman in the Photo, coming soon to a theater near you. And ladies and gentlemen, if you want to check out this episode, please subscribe to the Black Soul Music Experience podcast. Look for me on these 5 platforms. I'm on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Amazon Music, iHeartRadio, and Pocket Cast. And the link is riverside.fm/studio/Samuel Wilson Jr.'s. Don't forget to add the S at the end, studio. And I will be posting this episode on Facebook, LinkedIn, and Twitter. And if you have a hard time getting on to riverside.fm, then please become a member and subscribe to patreon.com/the Black Soul Music Experience podcast. Got a computer? Put in your email address and your password and go to the Patreon homepage where you see all the shows done by different creators. Go to the search box and type in the Black Soul Music Experience podcast, where you can check out all of my audio and video podcast episodes from season 4 and for this season, season 5, and check out all of the video podcast clips that you may have missed. And if you have a hard time getting on to Patreon, then I will be posting this episode on YouTube. Go to youtube.com, and all you need to do is go to the YouTube homepage and type in the Black Soul Music Experience podcast. If you like this episode, if you love my podcast, please subscribe, please support, please give me a thumbs up, please leave a comment, and please pass it on. Thank you for joining me as I close out this edition of the Black Soul Music Experience.
Well, that's about it for this edition of the Black Soul Music Experience podcast. I'm Sam Wilson Jr. Thank you for joining me, and please tune in next week for an all-new episode. The Black Soul Music Experience podcast is sponsored by the support of listeners and viewers like you. If you enjoyed this podcast, please subscribe to the Black Soul Music Experience podcast. Look for my podcast on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Amazon Music, iHeartRadio, and Pocket Cast. And don't forget the link. The link is riverside.fm/studio/Samuel Wilson Jr.'s studio. And don't forget to check out my audio and video podcast episodes by becoming a member and subscribe to patreon.com/the Black Soul Music Experience Podcast. And please check out my video podcast episodes by subscribing to youtube.com/the Black Soul Music Experience Podcast. And please leave your comments, feedbacks, and replies by going to my Facebook homepage. Go to facebook.com/the Black Soul Music Experience Podcast. You can also tweet me on X, aka Twitter, at Sam Wilson Jr. 66, and follow me on Instagram at SAMM.Y2980. As always, partying, remember this: reach for the top and your dreams will come true, and it can happen to you. From all of us, take care. God bless. Thanks for listening. Have a good week, and please be safe.